Before we get started with today's video, I have an announcement to make. After years of telling other people's stories, I finally released one of my own. My novel Eternal Reign is available now in both ebook and paperback format for those of you who are like me and prefer to collect physical media. You can grab a copy right now on Amazon through the link in the description of this video. And now back to our regularly scheduled program. When you go to collect the warding scales, it turns out that there are quite a few more than the Scions expected. There's enough to equip an entire company of soldiers, which, considering how little time the alchemists had to make the things, is really impressive. There's actually enough of the things for you all to do something a little bit reckless, and that's skip attacking each individual tower and go straight to Garlemald to hit the Telophoroi at their home base. Granted, you'll have to run that plan by the Alliance leaders before you just run off and invade a foreign nation. So the Scions split up so they can go let the leaders from Ul'dah to Dalmasca know what they're planning, while the rest of you get the talismans back to Sharlayan. Before you all leave, Nadana shows up wanting to find the Scion who cured her of the tower's corruption. Since the big elephant woman had only been locked up for a short time, it wasn't all that hard for Alisay to fix her up. Nadana wanted to thank her and the rest of you for saving Thavnir, but since her people were the ones who gave you all the means of saving everyone, it was clearly a group effort. For reasons that you don't know, the Elpis flower starts to change colors, and once you explain to Nadana what the thing is, she starts to wonder if it's affected by something called akasa. None of the Scions have ever heard of this before, but it's a Hannish term to describe an energy source that's linked to feelings and completely separate from ether, although most people outside of Thavnir think they're one and the same. Ether exists in all physical things, while this akasa is a part of the intangible side of things, and as far as Nadana and the alchemists know, it can't be controlled. The only things that seem to affect it are strong spiritual emotions. People who do battle a lot usually experience it in random moments in the form of boosts of power that seem to be beyond what their bodies are normally capable of, something like those flashy limit breaks that you can only pull off in a group. Being someone who wants to know everything about everything, Y'shtola is really interested in learning about this mysterious power source, since its very existence opens up a whole lot of questions about what people thought they knew about ether. But since the Hannish alchemists can't exactly perform experiments with the stuff, they don't have a lot of information about it. Since they can't exactly help you learn anything more about the weird flower either, you all head off to handle your separate tasks and keep things moving. When you get back to Sharlayan with the talismans, all you can do is wait for Thancred and the others to get back from their talks with the Alliance leaders, so you finally get a moment to rest, which makes Alisay, Alphinaud, Kral, and G'raha think it's a perfect time to bring dinner to your rooms. It's a very relaxing and normal get-together that the Scions rarely get to have, since they're always busy doing important stuff. One of their topics of conversation is of course that strange flower, and how it changed when the people around it got hopeful after your victory. That successful mission made G'raha feel better about what you're all doing, but between the Forum and the Telophoroi, there's still a whole lot left for you all to figure out. But knowing that doesn't interfere with the meal, or make the Scions leave your room any faster, which also makes the flower change colors again. While you're all relaxing in Sharlayan, Fandaniel is letting Zenos know about how you destroyed the tower in Thavnir. That one victory won't really impact their plans all that much, but if the Scions attack Garlemald directly, that could make things a little rough. Since Zenos knows you quite well, he's pretty sure that you'll be coming straight to him soon, so Fandaniel plans on getting everything ready to give you a not so warm welcome, since you seem to be the only thing that Zenos cares about. That's true, since he finds everything else to be boring. But Zenos has noticed that Fandaniel doesn't seem all that interested in the mission either. The Ascian situation is a little different. As a mortal, he was constantly having dreams about bits and pieces of the past, similar to how Zenos always dreamed about the final days. And now he's very close to letting the entire world see his dream, which probably won't be good for anyone. The next day, Kral decides to take a bit of time to go and talk to Montechain to thank him for keeping you all from getting kicked out of the city. He had tried to come talk to you all after the hearing, but you had all left for your tower raid. Since you're all still waiting for the others to get back anyway, it's a perfect time to take a trip to the Studium. The Studium is pretty much what you'd get if all the greatest schools on the planet fused into one place. In other words, it's a really good school, and it's Alphinaud's favorite place since he's a nerd. He was the youngest person ever accepted, graduated at the top of his class in magic and etherology, and was probably the person who got his head dunked in the toilet the most, likely by his sister. Alisay was a good student, but nowhere near as good as her brother. Regardless, they were both famous enough for everyone to know them, which means their current adventures and their current status in Sharlayan will probably be the talk of the school, so Alisay hopes that their reception will be at least a little bit better than it was at the last stand. Since there's no way to know for sure until you all get there, you head into the school to see if the twins are in for another not so friendly welcome. The first thing you all do when you get to the Studium is split up to hunt for Montechain.
People like him are always busy, so he's not exactly easy to track down. And since all of the people of the Studium are more busy than not, even the ones who have seen the man can't say whether or not he's still in the same place that they last saw him. The twins aren't really able to help that much with the hunt since the students have heard about their adventures, which has made them even more famous. So their conversations with people lead them to talking more about what they've done than getting information. Fortunately, it doesn't take too long for the Warrior of Light to find her target, and by the time you do, the twins and Crow show up. The main reason Monteshane had helped you all during the hearing was because he's one of those people who believe that curious people should be allowed to explore and learn. A majority of the forum feels the same way, which is why he was really able to help. Since he wanted to talk to the grandchildren of two of his dead friends, that being Galef and Louis Soir, he would have worked to get your exile overturned if you had been kicked out of the city. Since he knows the twins in Ishtola, the old man is surprised that you haven't pushed them all into a bottomless pit a long time ago, since they're all likely to get you into trouble with their lack of self-preservation skills. The man clearly doesn't realize that the Warrior of Light is more likely to get everyone around her killed long before any of the other scions drag you into nonsense. Since you all have a chance to talk to a friendly forum member, Alphinaud asks Monteshane what this secret mission of theirs is. The man has been sworn to secrecy though, and it's not just his refusal to break his word that keeps him from talking. He physically can't say anything. Their mission is so important that if any word of it got out to the general public, it will cause widespread panic. So everyone who knows about the mission has a spell put on them that makes them unable to talk about the mission without the forum's permission. Alice didn't even think a spell like that was possible. So Monteshane gets to do the one thing he enjoys more than anything else, and that's teach a lesson. He's very long-winded like most professors, but the long and short of it is the forum broke their rule about manipulating people's memories to make their members unable to talk about the mission. They don't mess with the minds of the general public, but whenever a new member joins the forum, they put him or her through the procedure to make sure they don't blab by accident. The spell can be removed, but only if 9/10 of the forum agree to it. Otherwise, their memories are bound and won't unlock until they die, which doesn't matter all that much since they'll be dead. What this little lesson does prove is that interrogating forum members will be a waste of time. However, Monteshane is willing to help you all in any way that he can. Since that little errand is done, you all head back to the annex to wait for the others to show up. And that's where we're going to stop for the day. If you enjoyed this video, be sure to like it, comment, share it, and subscribe. Donate to the channel if you can, and I'll see you all next time.